Okay. And coming into your steady and comfortable yogic seat with your tailbone rooting down into the earth, the crown of the head lifting to the sky, the heart open and expanded. You may have noticed around us this incredible awakening of the earth as the trees are leafing out and spring is beginning to take root and to blossom all around us. And so I want to invite you to come into a hand position, a mudra, that is connected with the energy of spring. And it's called Apan Mudra. So turning the palms up, bring the two middle fingers to meet the thumbs. So your first finger, pointer finger, and your pinkies are going to be extended. And then you can just let those palms stay turned up and the backs of the hands resting comfortably on the thighs. And this mudra, in the yoga teachings around the subtle body, say that this mudra is connected with the energy of spring, inviting in new life, new possibility, new energy, fresh prana. And it also has to do with the elimination of what is finished, any kind of stagnation or stuck energy within us, any toxins. So I invite you to take a few long, slow, deep breaths in, to breathe into that and bring into your mind and heart some fresh new possibility that you want to open to in this season. When we practice yoga, when we practice the postures and work with the gross physical body, it's very obvious to notice the results, the differences in how we feel. But when we work with the practice of mudra, we're working with more subtle energies that aren't necessarily quite so obvious immediately. And some people might consider it a little bit woo-woo, but I like doing woo-woo because it invites me to go beyond what my rational mind can understand and explore and play in that field of possibility that is in the more subtle realm. Let the breath lift up into the chest. And just fill to the brim. Pause at the top for a moment to enjoy that fullness. See if you can sip in a little bit more breath. Get really, really full. And then exhale with a sigh. Decompression breath. Whatever needs to be released and let go. Let's do 2 more of those. Filling up all the way to the brim. Sip in a little bit more. Fullness, fullness, holding, holding. Let every cell light up with prana. And see where you can soften with that exhale, either in the body, in the mind, or in the heart. And 1 more deep breath in. A little bit more fullness. Hold, hold, hold. And let go. I'm going to offer you a prayer from the Chinook Nation, indigenous peoples of the Northwest. As you continue to find your long, slow, deep yogic breaths, lifting all the way up into the chest and emptying all the way down to the belly. Everywhere is the green of new growth, the amazing sight of the renewal of the earth. We watch the grass once again emerging from the ground. We notice the bright green atop the dark green on the pine, the fir, the hemlock, the spruce, the cedar. Everywhere and always, the song of birds, and bees raiding the orchard, raccoon prowling at nightfall, the earthworm tunneling the garden, chickens and rabbits pecking and nibbling, the goats tugging to reach new delights. All are the ubiquitous energies of life. Spirit, may we today be touched by grace, fascinated and moved by this, your creation, energized by the power of new growth at work in your world. May our bodies, our minds, our spirits learn a new rhythm, paced by the rhythmic pulse of the whole created order. May spring come to us, be in us, and recreate life in us. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. And in that spirit of opening to the new life and new possibility, let's join our voices together in the sound of Om. Deep inhale. Exhale together to Om. Feel the reverberation of that in the silence. And I invite you to come forward, come off of your cushion, come into child's pose. Just let the forehead find some connection to the earth, or if you need to place a block or your palms underneath there, you can do that. Reaching the hands forward, beginning to stretch through the upper back, upper arms, shoulders. Letting the breath stay long and slow and deep. Knowing that in each inhale and exhale, spring is awakening within you. This fresh life force comes and lights up every cell. Every exhale, a purification, letting go of what the body doesn't need. On the next inhale, draw the body up into your table pose and find your cat-cow spinal waves. Undulations of the spine, flexion and extension, syncing it up with your breath so that the body and the attention and the breath move together as one. And if it feels good, you can take some side stretches, wagging the tail, sliding the feet side to side as you open through the side body. Bringing one ear to the shoulder on the same side as you open and expand on the opposite side. Using that ujjayi breath, a little contraction in the back of the throat so you feel and hear the whisper sound of the breath. And bringing the spine to neutral, walk the hands forward just a couple of inches and begin to circle the hips. Stirring the hip joint with the head of the thigh bone. Loosening and lubricating the hip joint. Let the circles get wider and wider. Explore the edges of your range of motion. And encircling the other way. Getting into a little deeper exploration of flexion and extension of the spine. Come to center, and with your palms spread wide, draw the heart forward. In front of the shoulders, draw the shoulders back. Roll forward onto the front of the thighs. Touch your big toes together and bring your heels as close to your low back or to your buttocks area as you can. A little more bend in the elbow, gets a little bit more elegant curve An opening in the front body. Lift the chin to open the throat. Big breath in, expand through the heart. Exhale, round the spine, come up onto your fingertips so we get a little deeper cat stretch, a little bit more lift. And a few more rounds of that coming into your seal pose here, just letting the pelvis hover over the mat. And expanding through the front body, arching the back body. Exhale, arch the other way. Navel draws in, spread wide between the shoulder blades. One more round. And then coming into a neutral spine, curl the toes under, press back to your downward facing dog. And bending one knee at a time, letting the hips sway side to side. Take your dog for a nice slow walk. Lengthening the back of one leg at a time, letting the heart draw down to the place between the feet, pressing down and forward into the earth like your hands are in the soil of your garden and you're reaching right down into the earth. Imagine that your mat is like the soft earth. Press the low belly toward the thighs, lift the tailbone high. Come into your full expression of down dog, and then inhale, coming forward into your plank pose. Nice firm plank. If you need to take a knee down plank, you can take that. Shoulders stacked over wrists. Exhale into your down dog. Inhale into your plank. Feel the core activate and light up here. Body in one long line. Beautiful. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Inhale into your plank. And this time lower down knees, chest, chin, and take a moment to pause here and really exaggerate that lift of the tailbone, even walking your knees a little bit closer toward your shoulders. Toes curl under, hands placed under the shoulders. Chin down. If this isn't comfortable, you can have your belly down and have your forehead down. Ashtanga Namaskara. You've got your knees, your hands, your chest, your chin, connecting with the earth. Inhale into a baby cobra. Plant the tops of the feet down. Heart draws forward, shoulders draw back, elbows point straight back behind you and tuck in toward the ribs. How much lift can you get without pressing into your hands and keeping all 10 toes down? Reach your hands back behind you, find your snake pose. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Lift, 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 lift. If you want, you can take your fingers into point your fingers straight back behind you into your steeple pose to exaggerate the reach a little bit. And if it feels good here, you can point your toes and then peel the legs off. The feet, the ankles, the shins, the knees, the thighs. See if you can keep the thighs lifted. 3 deep breaths here, Ujjayi breaths. Shoulder blades want to kiss each other along the back body. Heart draws forward and shines open. Helps to lift the corners of the mouth here. Yeah. Locust pose. Float the thighs down, the knees, the tops of the feet, hands underneath the shoulders. If it feels good here, you can take it into a full cobra. This way, in this one, you're going to press down and forward into the hands, but keep the pelvis rooted down. Shoulders back and down, heart open. Exhale, roll down, forehead touches down. And just take a moment to loosen up through the low back by just letting the hips sway side to side. And then press up into another cat stretch. So we complement that practice with the opposite movement of the spine. And maybe you want to take a little bit of cat-cow spinal waves here before pressing back one more time into downward facing dog. Taking it into your down dog for another long, slow, deep breath. Full expression of down dog. That might be your heels reach to the earth, and if they don't want to reach to the earth, if it makes your low back round, you can lift the heels and keep the knees slightly bent, but keep pressing your low belly toward your thighs.
Here I'm going to invite you to bring the feet between the hands, which you can do by walking or taking a little hop, coming into your forward bend. Let everything go. Let the head hang down. What are you saying yes to today? What are you saying no to? What are you releasing and letting go? Find those movements of the head. Opening to the mystery of it all with a maybe or an I don't know. Releasing through the shoulders, the arms. And then bend the knees and roll up one vertebra at a time. Stack one bone on top of another. You're building your mountain. Shoulders down and back. Open the heart. And just come into your steady and comfortable mountain. There we go. So let's open through the side body and take some twists before we go into our vinyasa flow. So from here, feet hip width apart, let's take some standing sun breaths. Inhale, reach up, reach through the right, reach through the left. Exhale, bend the knees, round the spine, chin to chest. Opening to that possibility, new life. Exhaling, letting go of what is finished. Each breath an opening and a purification. Syncing up movement, breath, and attention. We're going to take it into a side bend. So on the next inhale, clasp your fingers in steeple pose and take it on the exhale into your side bend, pressing your left hip. If I mirror you, you'll press your left hip out to the left, reach fingertips to the right. Inhale up to center, exhale, release. Notice the difference between one side and the other there. Now I'll take it on the other side. Exhale. And really lean into it with your right hip. Reach long and away with those fingertips to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, release. We'll take it again on each side. Letting your long, slow Ujjayi breath be the music for your practice today. Okay, after you feel complete on both sides, arms reach to the sky, and see if you can reach through the right and reach to the left without shrugging your shoulders. This is what people typically do, is they create a crunch here. So can you reach and lift and drop the shoulders and let the pose be sustained with your core, with the lifting of the lower ribs away from the hips, with the Uddiyana Bandha navel drawing in and up, and keep the shoulders relaxed here. Root the tailbone down. Big breath in as you grow longer, being that bridge between earth and sky. And exhale, hands back behind you. Interlace the fingers, open the heart nice and wide. If you need to use your strap between your hands, you can do that. Heart expands open as you lift the hands to the back edge of your mat, and lift them a little bit higher and reach them a little further back. And just bring to mind a beautiful spring flower that you've seen. I think about all the daffodils that are still just shining bright all around me in my neighborhood. So let your heart be like that blossoming daffodil or tulip or magnolia, whatever you notice around you is a spring flower. Take a deep breath in like you're taking in the fragrance of that flower, and then exhale, fold forward into standing yoga mudra. Keep belly and thighs connected, hands reach up and overhead, head hangs down. Lift the sacrum, lift the hips as much as you can without losing connection between belly and thighs. And then release the hands, let them frame the feet. Take a half lift, flat back. Lengthening out, tail to crown. Get that core active and engaged to support that lengthening. Exhale, fold. This time, the feet can come as wide as your mat. Outer edges of your feet line up with the outer edges of your mat. And press the left fist or fingertips down into the mat. Bend the left knee and let the right hand raise up. You're going to bring up your torso to a half lift here, lengthening from tail to crown. Grow long and wide into your twist. Big inhale, exhale, release. Other side, press the right fist or fingertips down, little bend in the right knee as you turn your heart to the left. Left shoulder stacks over right, reach the left hand high, reach the crown out forward. Beautiful. Exhale, release. And other side again, turning toward the right. This time, if you want to take it into a bind, reach the upper hand back behind you, back of the hand to the hip, or slip your pinky in the crease of the hip and grab your thigh, your left thigh. As you roll open, get that right shoulder roll open, look up at the sky. That's optional. Release. Take that on the other side. First, grow long and wide, and either keep it here, or if you played with the bind on the other side, you can take that bind, noticing what's happening in that upper shoulder, left shoulder this time. Look up at the sky, so your cervical spine, your neck is part of the twist, and exhale, release. Let it go. And then from here, bend the knees, and we'll roll up one vertebra at a time. Stacking one bone on top of another, coming to standing, and heel toe, the feet to hip width apart. I want to do one more energizing kriya here that expels stagnant energy and opens to fresh life force, the breath of joy. So we're going to be swinging the arms forward. I love this one. It's like so enlivening. The arms are going to be swinging forward, really loose. It's sometimes when people do this, they're really stiff. So see if you can really practice getting that looseness here, and that sense, and a little bounciness in the knees. So think of yourself as being a little kid, just a really excited, joyful kid. And then swinging to the side, shoulder height, same idea. Soft, bouncy, playful energy, opening to that joy. And then finally swinging forward and up, and get a little bit more bounce, maybe a little lift of the heels as you get some momentum to the bounce. And then the final part of this is you're going to exhale and go, ha! So you don't have to fling yourself too far. You can just do upper back rounding. But from the belly, that expelling breath, expelling the stagnant energy. If you've opened 3 breaths in through the nose to the joy, to the life force, exhale with a ha! Let go of whatever it is that needs to be released. So, bringing the hands to swing forward, knees bouncy. Inhale, inhale, inhale up to full, and ha! 3 sips of air in through the nose. Ha! Inhale, inhale, inhale. Ha! Inhale, inhale, inhale. Ha! Now you can go as slow as you need to go. Ha! And if you feel dizzy or lightheaded or uncomfortable doing this, then you can just come back to doing standing sun breaths. So again, you're taking the breath and the mind and the movement together. So keep going in your, at your own pace. You don't have to do it exactly at my pace. If you feel energized by this and you like it, you can go faster. Juice it up, and really let that exhale, give that exhale, some attitude of really letting go of frustration, stagnation, procrastination, any negative mind states that might be plaguing you. Really make some guttural sounds to really let it go. All right, we'll begin to slow it down now. And again, a little slower. Savor it. And one more. Slow motion. And let it go with a sigh. Slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. Really slow, because sometimes people can get a little dizzy and lightheaded. Shoulders down and back, heart open. Just turn the palms open in mountain pose. Inner elbows facing away from you. Your feet are hip width apart. Lengthen the crown of the head to the sky, the tailbone to the earth, and just feel the prana buzz. Take a few long, slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose just to normalize the breath. You might feel increased heart rate, some sweating,
Lots of tingling and sensation in the body. Celebrate that aliveness. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart, and we'll take it into a vinyasa flow. Take a deep breath in, arms reach and rise. Reach through the right and the left, and heart and hands and gaze lift to the sky. Exhale, slow deep dive to the earth. And as you do this, you may want to slide the hands down the backs of the legs till they come to the calves, and invite a little deeper fold as you hold on to the calves. If you need to keep your knees bent, that's fine. A little bit of bend in the knees. Let the head go. Take a half lift now, releasing the hands. Fingertips slide up the shins, flat back. Reverse shrug with the shoulders, and exhale, fold. Hands frame the feet. Now here, I'm going to invite you to bend the knees. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to step back right into plank pose. So you can either take a little hop, and when you do that, see if you can land without the hips sagging or sticking up. So you have to engage the core as your feet are in midair, so that when you land, you're nice and firm like that plank. And then we'll take it into, or you can step back. That's fine to step back one leg at a time. Knees, chest, chin, exhale. Inhale, cobra of your choice. Plant the tops of the feet down. And take it into the back bend that serves you. Some of you might prefer to do Sphinx. That's okay. Exhale through table into downward facing dog. We're going to step through with the right foot into a low lunge. So bringing the right foot through, left knee down, melt the shoulders away from the ears, and release the pelvis to the earth. Long spine, inner thighs toward the midline, sweep up, kneeling warrior. See if you can relax your shoulders, spin the pinkies inward. Root the tailbone down and find the stability in your core. Exhale, hands meet behind you. Open the heart and play with this a little bit. So you can either stay just shoulders over hips, or you can take a little bit of arching back. Exhale, release, and fold into a runner stretch. You're going to draw the hips back. You may want to take that right heel forward, point and flex to start. Square your hips and shoulders to the front. You might want to use blocks underneath your shoulders. You want to avoid having any rounding of the spine. I'm going to invite you to take it into a little exploration here. So that could be just a slow pulse, folding from the crease of the hips with flat back, or you can take it into an inhale lunge, exhale fold. If you want to take it, bring a little more movement. Or you can take it into big and bold, sweep up and open, elbows try to touch behind you, and fold. So play with that for a few breaths, a few rounds. And I'm going to open a little window in our space here because I can feel it. We've warmed up. It has warmed up outside as well. And then coming back into your low lunge with the knee over the ankle, I'm going to invite you to take it into a twist. So that could be a press twist with right hand pressing into the thigh, left hand just under the shoulder, or you can curl the back toes under, lift into a high lunge, take it into a revolved side angle. So take it into the twist that serves you, long and wide, or knee down if you prefer. Exhale, release. Inhale, step it back to plank and flow it through to meet in down dog. So that could be just lowering the knees and taking a break in child, or you can take it if you're ready for chaturanga up dog, if you want a more invigorating version of this connecting sequence, you can take that, coming into your down dog. Take another breath in downward facing dog. As you exhale, melt the heart, and inhale, lift the tail. Exhale, press the hands down and forward. And on the next inhale, step the left foot forward, lower the right knee down. Unshrug, lengthen root to crown. Inner thighs come toward one another and lift up into your kneeling warrior, Anjaneyasana, reaching and rooting at the same time. Exhale, hands meet behind you. Inhale, open the heart, play with it a little bit, either a little more squeeze together of the shoulder blades or arching back.
Exhale, hands root down under the shoulders and fold back. Now when you do this folding back into a runner stretch, you don't want to leave your hands where they originally were because that's going to cause the upper back and the shoulders to round. So slide your hands so they're under your shoulders. Maybe sliding your foot forward a little bit on that left side, and find your explorations, maybe starting with pointing and flexing, like you did on the other side, getting a little activity in ankles, calf muscle. Lengthen out, and either just take a slow and subtle exploration here of that delicious hamstring stretch, or take it into a little bit more dynamic flow, inhaling into your lunge, exhaling into your fold, or big and bold. Whatever feels joyful, doable, nourishing for you, and available to you this morning. There comes the helicopter again. Last week we had a helicopter coming through class. All right, come back into your lunge, and we'll take it into that twist. Either a press twist. You want to, in either case, whatever twist you do, you want to stack your left shoulder over your right, or back toes curl under and grow long and wide, expanding like the rays of the sun. Big inhale, exhale, release, step it back into plank and flow it through as you enjoy. There's no one expression of the sequence that's better than another. It's absolutely fine to take it gentle. There's a lot of power and benefit in gentle yoga. What's most important is that you're syncing up your movement and your breath, and that you're staying mindful and appreciative of your body just as it is. We're going to step through again with the right foot. This time, if you'd like to take it into a little three-legged dog, you can lift those right toes high, maybe opening the hips, kicking butt. And stepping through into a high lunge this time. We're going to spin the back heel inward 45 degrees so the foot comes flat at a 45-degree angle. Square your hips and rise up into your warrior one. So this is a traditional warrior one where the outer edge of your left foot is going to root down into the mat. Toes about 45 degrees. You're going to need to work a little to draw this left hip forward, right hip crease back, root the tail down so the pubic bone comes forward. So you're feeling that steady and comfortable and powerful stance. Now in your warrior pose, what kind of energy do you want to invite in today with your warrior? Celebrative, fierce, coming into a sword-like pose, goddess energy, Shakti warrior, maybe contemplative warrior, bringing the hands into prayer at the third eye, compassionate warrior, hands at the heart. So just explore what energetically feels good for you. We're really working mostly with the lower body here, so we're not compensating or changing anything in the lower body. You want that front thigh to be as close to parallel to the floor as you can, but we're playing with the upper body to invite in an energy that we need today. And because all of us can use some courage, interlace the fingers behind you, open the heart with courageous warrior, and humility. So take it into humble warrior. From heel to crown, you can either go just diagonal line here, or rest your shoulder on your knee, or shoulder inside knee, head just hovering, crown of the head hovering a couple of inches above the floor, staying with those strong warrior legs. Releasing the hands, fingertips brush the earth. You're going to rise up and wheel open into your warrior two. If that bent knee is fatigued, you can straighten it for a moment as you lift up through the spine, open up through the heart, and exhale, land back into your warrior two. Shoulders and hips open to the long end of your mat. Knee toward pinky toe. Beautiful. So warrior two is about cutting through anything that's been a blockage, internal or external, into our life, because these arms are like swords. Sometimes it's just cutting through our own illusions. So bring that into your mind and heart. And then as the front palm turns up, take it into your expression of dancing warrior. First, just reaching high to get that length and space through the right side body, then reaching back behind you, look up at the palm of your hand, sky gazing warrior. Exhale, circle the arms down and come into your high lunge on the ball of your foot. Step it back into plank. Flow it through as you enjoy to meet in downward facing dog. Heart melts down, tailbone lifts. Heels reach to the earth unless you're taking bent knee modification. We're going to step through with the left foot, so whatever flair you gave it, if you did three-legged dog, if you kicked your asana, you can take that. And then gracefully bringing shoulders over the wrists, drawing the knee into the chest, however you can get that stepping through. Come into your high lunge. Then the right heel spins inward 45 degrees, root down through the outer edge of your right foot as you sweep up, coming into your steady, comfortable, powerful, mindful warrior. And play with whatever energies you need. Maybe you want to go through a flow of celebration, power, prayer, compassion, Shakti, goddess energy, honoring the mother. It's Mother's Day is coming up. And notice what's happening with your front leg. If your stance is too short, you're not going to be getting that powerful strengthening in the front leg. So get your stance long enough so that you can bring this leg close to parallel. Tuck the tail, root down so that you're lengthening through your low back. And we're going to take it into courageous warrior, opening the heart wide. If it feels good to arch back, if you've got your balance, it's a good balance play. Exhale, take it into your humble warrior, your expression of humble. Keeping that back foot rooting down into the earth. Thy will be done. Release the hands and wheel open into your warrior two. If you need to take a little break by straightening both legs, use that energy to lift up and lengthen and then land back into wide open hearted warrior two, fixing your gaze over your left middle finger, feeling the inner thigh stretch in that left thigh as you draw the knee toward the pinky toe, a wide open heart, wide open hips. Turn the front palm up, take it into your dancing warrior. Open and expand through the ribs, big breath in. And exhale, back through warrior two and cartwheel down. Coming into your lunge. Step back into your plank pose and flow it through. Taking your time, there's no rush to get there. And then from here, once you do come to your down dog, we're going to make the transition with a little either walking one foot at a time or a little hop to the feet coming between the hands. If you're going to do the hop, you want to land with bent knees and try to land so that you make as little noise as possible, not like I just did, because I just made a thud. Fold, let it all go. And drop the hips halfway into your Utkatasana chair pose. Hands to prayer, or hands to the sky, or shoulder height, whatever way you want to challenge yourself in this. Maybe you can even bring your hands into that steeple pose. It's a little tighter on the shoulders and upper arms, but some people enjoy the invigorating practice of that. 2 more deep breaths. With a little Buddha smile, lifting the corners of the mouth. Shoulders over hips, so we're not doing this. Feel the heat. And then rising sun. Slowly enjoy and savor the release. Palms join overhead. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart. And take a moment to come back to your mountain pose. Hands at your side, palms turn open. Just pause and feel the aliveness you've invited in. Let's play with a little balance now and hip opener. So for our balance pose today, we'll start with a crane, a flow of crane. Now you might choose to be off of your mat because it's a little easier to balance when you're not on the squishiness of the mat, but it's up to you. Starting with mountain pose, open your wings, nice, elegant, gentle, open wings, and we'll flow, lifting one knee at a time, syncing up your movement, your breath, and your coming into the posture and your attention. So lifting knee to hip height, just letting that foot dangle. Crane taking flight. The standing leg is not locked, it has a micro bend. Crossing your wings at the bottom of the exhale and shifting your weight at the bottom of the exhale. And once you feel steady and comfortable here, this might be the extent of your balance practice today, just to do this. And if you want to take it a little further, play. Inhale, crane. Exhale into your figure four, your balancing pigeon, hands in prayer. It's kind of coming into that one-legged chair pose, opening the hips. Inhale, crane. So we're just going to flow side to side. Exhale, shift. Inhale, lift in crane. Exhale, open and come into that squat. So you have to slow your breath down enough. Inhale, crane. Exhale, shift. You have to slow your breath down enough so you have enough time to actually land in the pose. And that's what the Ujjayi breath helps us to do, to slow down the breath. It also helps us find steadiness and power in the poses that are challenging to us. So not copying my pace, but finding your own pace. And then I invite you to play with holding that balancing pigeon a little bit longer. So you can inhale into your crane, exhaling into your pigeon, and just playing with the squat a little bit. See if you can juice up that hip rotation. Just holding for a few breaths, getting a little deeper into the squat. You should feel the juice in your glutes. And lifting back up into crane. Try that on the other side. See how it feels. Holding into your balancing pigeon. You might notice that one side is a lot more stable than the other with your balance. Really draw the outside of that lifted knee toward the floor. And get a little into a deeper, juicier squat. Soften the shoulders. Notice if there's any furrowing around the brow. And when you're ready to release, back to crane. I'm going to invite you to try one more exploration here. Coming into your balancing pigeon. This time, if it's available, see if you can bring your hands down. You could either use a block, bringing your hands to a block right in front of your toes of your standing leg, or fingertips to the floor, framing your foot. See if you can fold nice and close to your standing leg so that the torso comes touching or very close to your figure four, nose toward your knee or shin. You can either stay here for a couple of breaths, giving yourself a nice pigeony stretch, or juice up the balance play by bringing one hand behind the calf of the standing leg, and maybe both hands behind the calf So you've got no hands. You're just enjoying that one-legged balance. And then bringing the hands to prayer, coming back up through your balancing pigeon, opening your wings and crane, and coming in for a soft landing. Wow. Let's try it on the other side. Opening up into your crane, coming into your figure four, and you might need to adjust the figure four a little. You don't want to be pressing on the ankle. You want to have the ankle past the leg, so you're meeting above the ankle. Coming into your squat, and once you're steady and comfortable here, coming into that fold. You don't want to lock your knee of your standing leg, because there's a little risk of hyperextension of the knee. So keep a micro bend in the knee. And then either one hand behind the calf or both hands behind the calf, even just for a second. It's like when you learn to ride a bicycle, you have that moment of balance just for a second. And when you're ready, transitioning into your squat again. Rising up into your beautiful wide-winged crane and come back to standing. Oh, yeah.
I like that pose has everything. All the good stretches.
Yeah, that is a super-duper pose. So much is happening. You get the hip opener, you get the leg strengthener, you get the balance. Yeah. All right. So from here, let's come down. Let's see how much time we have. Okay. Let's come down onto the back and hug the knees into the chest. And since we just did quite a little bit of hip opening, we can take a moment after you've come into your Apanasana. You can circle the hips, bring the knees to the, no, not the knees, bring the hands to the knees, and just stir it up and create some nice circling motion there. In one direction, and then the other direction. And I think what would be nice here is to do a little bit of abdominal strengthening and into a nice juicy twist here as well. So I'm going to invite you to come into eagle pose on your back. So wrap your legs in eagle legs. So start with the right thigh on top of the left, and if you can wrap your right foot behind your left calf or ankle, you can do that. Otherwise, you don't have to wrap it. But you want the thighs to be nice and tight here. So now you're going to get an internal rotation of the hips. All right, after that external hip opening that we just did in the pigeon. So the right elbow comes underneath the left, and wrap your arms in eagle arms. I think most of you know eagle arms. Your thumbs want to point toward you. Maybe backs of the hands touch. Maybe you wrap your wrists. All right, we're going to take it into what I call eagle abs. All right, when you touch the toes down with the legs, it'll be your left toes that touch down, fingers reach back. And then exhale, forearm to thighs, roll the head and shoulders off of the mat, chin to chest. Inhale, toes touch down, hands reach back. Exhale, contract. Inhale, reach back and lengthen. Exhale, contract. Do 2 more of those at your own pace, flowing with Ujjayi breath. And let's do 1 more and hold. See if you can hold for 3 deep breaths. Chin to chest, forearm to thigh. And of course, if this presents pain for your neck, you can release. If you can, see if you can take 3 deep breaths here. And then unwinding the arms, Let the hands come down by your sides, T position, and we'll take it into the twisted root or any reclining twist that feels good for you. So the knees are going to come down toward your left. As the right back of the right shoulder roots down into the mat, look at your right hand. If you want to unwind your legs and just let your legs be in an L shape, you can do that. Just enjoying this spinal twist. Inhaling, knees up to center. Wrap your legs the other way now, so uncross. And wrap the left leg around on top of the right, thighs nice and tight, so you don't have any space between your thighs. If you can wrap your left foot behind your right calf, it's easier to do that in the lying down position than it is standing. And then left arm comes underneath right in eagle arms. Once you've got everything wrapped up here, we'll take it into that flow. Inhale, touch the toes down, reach the hands back. Exhale, contract, chin to chest, forearms to thighs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Couple more. And on the last one, see if you can hold for 3 deep breaths, if that doesn't put a strain on your neck. And as you do this, see if there's a place in the body that you're holding tension where you can relax. Around the jaw, the brow, the muscles around the eyes, shoulders. And when you're ready, you can unwind your arms, plant your palms down at shoulder height, take it into the twist of your choice. Either twisted root, leaving the legs into eagle legs, or unwinding and just coming into a revolved abdomen pose. Just want to keep your knees at hip height, legs in an L shape. Look at your left hand, melt the left shoulder down into the mat. Breathe and enjoy. Coming back to center. Let's just take a moment to do, I'm going to give you a yogi's choice moment, to do something where you lift your lower body higher than your upper body, some kind of inversion. For some of you, you might want to take a bridge pose, just lifting the hips higher than the heart, maybe clasping hands underneath you. Maybe you want to take your bridge pose as a restorative bridge with your block underneath your sacrum. So you can just enjoy that moment, or have the block in the flattest setting, legs up in the air. Some of you might want to take the plow pose into your shoulder stand. You're all experienced yogis, so you know what kind of inversion might serve you well right now. So take this as a moment to explore being upside down. Just letting the awareness gently rest on the movement of breath. Whenever we have our lower belly higher than our heart,
We allow the organs that are in that part of your abdominal cavity to get some of the weight and pressure off of them so that fluid can drain, blood can flow. And I invite you now, let's just take 3 more deep breaths. We'll take 3 more deep breaths in your upside down pose.
Susan, that's great. Just keep yourself supported with your hands on your low back. Palms here. Yeah. Yeah. Does that not feel good to do that?
It doesn't feel great on my shoulders.
Yeah.
But
So it feels better with your hands down?
kind of does.
Uh-huh. Okay. As long as you're pressing your feet into the wall.
Right. Yeah. And begin to transition now into Shavasana for final relaxation.
And if you're enjoying legs up the wall, you can take that instead.
That's fine. All right. Let me know
If there's anything I can do to support you.
All right. Oh, finding a comfortable posture that invites a complete release and letting go. It is often said that Shavasana is the hardest posture because it does involve that non-doing. And sometimes it's hard for us to find our connection with ourselves as a human being rather than a human doing. So just let the power of the out-breath release any holding in the body. Wherever you can become aware of any tension, just let the out-breath invite it to release and let go. And bring the awareness to that sense of, it's again, working with the subtle level that may not be directly available to the mind, but that sense of the flow. It could be a very subtle energy, a flow of prana, life energy moving through you. Sensing it like a river of grace, moving through your miraculous being. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean in my soul. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean in my soul. To deepen your breath and bring some movement into the fingers and toes.
When you're ready, you can draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself an embrace. Roll over onto one side. And in your own time, in your own way, pressing yourself up into a seated position. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Bringing the hands to prayer position in front of the heart. Let's close our practice with the sound of Om. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me. We're going to have 10 minutes of meditation for those who wish to. So those of you, are you both going to stay for meditation? Okay. So you can actually just leave that mat there because I have somebody else coming in a little bit, so and they can use that. All right. So those of you who need to go, have a beautiful day. You can just log off. And those of you who want to stay for 10 minutes of meditation, just find whatever your setup is, whether you need to, would you like anything, Susan? You're comfortable? If you need any support underneath your knees, if you need any little bit higher lift underneath your hips, whatever supports a long spine. Make sure everyone's on mute. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes and I'll just give you a little opening guidance. As you draw the shoulders down away from the ears, just gently invite the crown of the head to lift skyward. Nothing forced, nothing strained. Just very subtle invitations to open and lengthen and deepen as you root tailbone into the earth. Just take a moment to notice the quality of your being now. We began our practice sitting in this asana, seated posture. And after an hour of working with the breath and the asanas, notice if there's anything that's been freed up, anything that's been released, loosened, or opened up, deepened. Whatever it is for you, notice the quality of your sitting. And perhaps whether anything has shifted as a result of our asana practice this morning. And one thing that's different about meditation from working with asana is that we completely release and let go of control of the breath. And we allow the breath to find us. So just notice how the breath naturally moves and where you sense it, either in the nostrils, in the abdomen, or in the chest. You can release that contraction of the back of the throat, that ujjayi breath that we use in asana practice, and just let the throat be relaxed and open. Celebrating that most sacred rhythm of life, the in-breath and the out-breath. Inspiration and expiration. Knowing that every breath is a renewal and a purification. And if you happen to be a person who is devotionally oriented, an optional way to practice with the breath is you can layer on a sense of each in-breath being a drawing in divine love, peace, power and presence of God, however you envision that. And every out-breath, a sense of surrendering and dissolving the individual ego into that presence. Every in-breath taking in the power and presence of God, divinity. Every out-breath, surrendering, letting go, dissolving into that. And if the mind wanders and loses focus, which it will, it's the nature of mind, just gently, easily return to the awareness of your breath. The practice is in the beginning again and again and again.
Bringing the hands together in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Let's just take a bow to seal our practice and take this peace out into your day and enjoy the spring, everyone. So lovely to practice with you. See you next week. Namaste.